How do we separate and divorce? Chances are, if you're asking yourself that question, you probably have a few other questions on your mind. Questions such as, do we really need to use lawyers? How long is this all going to take? And how much is it going to cost? If you have children, you might also be wondering how you're going to tell the children. What will you tell them? And when will you tell them? Well, the short answer to all of these questions is it kind of depends. It depends on the complexity of your situation, the amount of conflict between you, how old you both are, how long you've been together, how many children you have, how old are the children, do they have special needs, etc., etc. So let's start very fundamentally, and that's with this question. Well, what do we do first? Where do we start? Well, first thing you need to do is you need to talk about separation. So if this hasn't come up yet and you're just investigating, trying to figure out how it will all work, well, you'll want to sit down, have a conversation. And when you are thinking about having that conversation, put your mind to where you both might be in your grieving processes. If this is brand new information, there's a whole series of emotions that you're needing to work through around. Sometimes there's some anger there, sometimes there's some sadness. Until you can get to a place of acceptance, it can be very difficult to make some of these important decisions. And so getting some counseling, getting some additional professional assistance to work through the emotions that are part of realizing that you are headed into this chapter of your life story. And then you're ultimately going to decide on what process that you both want to use. So for example, we have something that's called the kitchen table approach, and that is where the two parties are sitting down together and just trying to figure things out between them. It's best suited to situations where there's a simple family property division. If there are children, both parents have an alignment with respect to their parenting philosophy and goals. There's typically similar income, which makes for a relatively straightforward calculation of support obligations. And utilizing a lawyer in a kitchen table negotiation can be a way in which you just make sure that you have covered off all of the important things that you need to put your mind to, and a lawyer can help you to draft that agreement. And while you are trying to think about, what it is that you exactly need to negotiate, and you want to get a sense of the legal parameters and what those options are in your decision making, you might want to consider taking our Common Sense Separation course. Just shoot us off an email and we'll provide you with some more information on that. You might be looking into mediation. Mediation is a process where there's a neutral third party who is assisting you in reaching your own decisions about how you'll divide your property and what parenting arrangements you'll put in place and how you're going to manage your finances. The mediator helps you to identify your individual and mutual priorities, expectations, concerns, goals, and hopes that you have, to create options and then really evaluate those options to make sure that your interests are met in the final outcome. Consulting a lawyer for independent legal advice is important at the beginning and the middle of the mediation process, and of course at the end before you sign that final agreement. The collaborative process is another way in which you can work through these very important decisions. In a collaborative process, each party has their own collaboratively trained lawyer who provides advocacy and legal advice during the problem-solving meetings. Other professionals might be involved. You could have a mediator in your collaborative process, a separation coach or financial neutral, even a child specialist, or any combination. Now, all of these professionals, including the lawyers, are working together as a team to help you reach an agreement. And in fact, they're so committed to that everybody, yourselves included, sign a participation agreement that commits to the collaborative process and makes that commitment to say, we're just simply not going to consider going to court and entering into an adversarial process. We are committed to working this out collaboratively using an interest-based focus. And so this team that's working together wants you to reach an agreement that's best suited suited to the unique needs of your family system. So what do you do next? Well, if you're watching this video on your own, next thing to do would be to share this video as a way of starting the conversation. You could book a consultation, and we invite you to give us a call or shoot us off an email to set up something that will work with your schedule. And then tell your story. And as you tell your story, we'll help you sort out what process that you will choose. In addition to the resources that are noted on our website, here are a few other places that you might go online to get some more information and to support you in your decision-making process. And, remember, we are only ever an email or phone call away. We would love to hear your story, answer your questions, and help you as you transition into your separate and apart adult lives.